Welcome to this evening's Corona cast. Sometimes it's a COVID cast, but as ever, we're COVID information, advice, recommendations, and support channel. Live nightly on YouTube, 8 p.m. Central European Time, soon to be coming to Facebook. And a team of three at present, a local reporter, a European reporter, and an Irish chap called Frankie over in the Costa Blanca. Your host here, Dan, coming live from the Orihuela Costa, Spain, and an out and about north of England, Northern European correspondent called Paul D. Nichols, who we'll be speaking to very shortly. Theme of tonight, I can see Europe in panic. Are we facing a stock market crash? Well, we had one this morning. Quite a shock, between 7 and 10% knocked off British and American stock markets, 5 to 10% elsewhere. The bell rang again to some recovery, but it was a Monday morning of confusion and chaos. A little more can be said than that. Personally, I feel that governments have got this wrong on COVID-19, and I'm getting quite annoyed by it today. Yeah, I can only really speak for the Brits, and I'm sick of seeing the PM. Not so much the PM for a change. He's a big, large, fluffy, annoying chap, but his chief medical advisor, not a fan. No. This is a chap who's not placing safety first. He's a medical bureaucrat who's been told not to upset the economic apple cart, and we're seeing very little being done. We're just getting precautionary advice. We're not seeing airports closed. We're not seeing schools, universities closed. All we're getting is self-isolate, which people are choosing whether or not they feel like doing, and many are not. Particularly those people getting on flights, often from corona-intensive environments like the north of Italy. It's happening, and it's still spreading the virus around Europe. I can assure you of that. So the big issue is of one of personal responsibility. So I think we might be getting Paul, our correspondent from Ramsbottom. He's over in Ramsbottom tonight. I'm just buzzing him now. He's Rochdale based, but he's been intrigued to explore more fashionable middle class response. Ramsbottom is the new Hebden Bridge, if you're familiar with the more chic part of northern England. Right. I will make sure the tech is up to scratch here with the rather terrible Huawei phone I'm currently. Is that Paul? Hi, pal. Just make sure that your channel's off in the background. Make sure we're not having the channel playing back. I'm sorry, mate. I'm struggling with my phone. Yeah, I'm trying to get you on microphone, buddy, but I'm struggling. Yeah, we'll be up and running soon. Without the microphone, we can't go ahead, but sorry. Tech has been a disaster. It's been a Black Monday for tech so far. Ooh, you little bastard. Ooh. Huawei probably had major problems with this terrible little phone that I picked up from the orange shop. Got you there? Just a sec. Yeah, without the microphone on, buddy, we can't go forward. Wait a second. Sorry, the speaker hands free. That's all I'm resting with, just getting the hands free up. Yeah, well, we'll be joining Paul soon. I just have to rectify this little technical problem. We need to get you up on Skype, buddy, ideally, I think. Much better. With a microphone, yeah. Well, you're gonna have to Skype me, find me, Daniel.Rayburn. Oh, what a disaster! Sorry, mate. I just need to get this phone to function on a basic level so I can get the microphone on. What a dickhead! I don't know. It's got a virus, obviously. Bit of beautiful IT perfection that it is. It's full of a virus. Right, I can't get you up on the screen here. I can hear you. I can't get you up on the screen because it's such a dreadful little piece of tech, this phone, and so I can't get my hands free up. It's just a nonsense. Yeah, well, I can hear you, mate, but our viewers won't. That's the problem. You won't be hearing yourself on the video afterwards. Just a second. But I mean, it's just been charged and everything. It's one of those bloody things. We need to get you up on Skype. Really, I mean, I don't like Messenger anyway. Plus, it censors us. It censors us. Oh, nearly. It's a dreadful little bit of kit, this. It really is. How do you want to change the volume? Do it again. It's literally a gremlin today. And that'll be a shame because Frankie's not back from his travels till 8:30 either. Alright, I'll try you on the PC on Skype. Sorry, on Messenger. Let's get you on the PC. Here we are. There he is. Oh, volume, Paul.
Hello.
Oh yes, slight delay there, buddy. Slight delay.
Can you hear me?
Here we are. So Paul D. Nichols returns to CoronaCast on Frankie and Danny's information, advice, recommendations, and support channel. What have you been up to today, Paul?
Chilling, doing a bit of work, watching the news.
Watching the news, basically.
Channel.
Yeah, like all of us.
Nothing. I don't know. Just the same today. I mean, there was a boost yesterday, more cases, just more of the same, innit? Don't panic.
Well, at the moment, mate, I'm sorry to sound morbid, we're getting one death an hour. Because I've been watching the news since 5. We've had 3 deaths in like 2 hours. Sorry to say.
What, in the UK?
In the UK, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the weather's bad again, Maybe less people be mixing, but maybe more in shopping centres, wet, damp, horrible, yeah.
It's been like a wet, damp, horrible day, I've heard from family, yeah.
We've got 24 hours of rain here now up in Rochdale, Manchester way, so yeah, it's just flooding again. So the flood alert again.
Well, I suppose that's good for self-isolation. I think what we've seen, what we've seen with COVID-19 is that hospital deaths are following now. We've got a fair few cases in hospitals, and I said we've had two fatalities in the last couple of hours, literally, and one earlier today.
Yeah.
But, a significant number of cases in hospital, and unfortunately the deaths are following. Germany is strange. Germany's had 3 deaths and about 1,100 cases.
As of today, or just in total?
In total, mate.
Yeah. Well, that's a different set of statistics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Total. Is it because it's a high migrant population without healthcare?
It's young. A young population, mate, yeah. It's young. That's the key.
Yeah.
They're young in Germany. They're not having a lot of children, but as you say, there's a high migrant population in terms of the Turkish gastarbeiter. Yeah, the Turkish workers for decades now, yeah.
Is it a different strain they've got? Because I thought it was just affecting more severe in elderly people. Why the young in Germany?
Well, Yes, I mean the cases are cases.
I've,
What I'm saying, I think, what I'm surmising is that you get a lot of cases in young people. It's not going to be fatal.
yeah, well, but yeah. Looking at that, that's a very low amount of deaths for a very high
Yeah,
amount of cases, isn't it? I mean, yeah. And we talked
0.1%.
yes,
Yeah,
and we talked yesterday about people who can have it, have had it, don't know they've got it, had it. There's those as well that they won't appear in any statistics because obviously they've not been tested or they're self-isolated. So these numbers,
it's yes.
you,
The
you can only
nightmares
take
happened in Italy because it's got the oldest population in Europe,
and
and
now,
what's
yeah,
happened is that they've obviously panicked because it's spread like wildfire of the fatal
yeah,
variety, of the Australian
yeah.
variety, if you like. Yeah,
So
through an old population.
they've took the Wuhan stance now and shut it down, haven't they?
Absolute. Yeah,
But it's a massive area, and yeah, I
yeah,
mean it's also a split area.
yep,
It's regional as opposed to just like north of say this line or whatever. No, it's like regional, but obviously more northern. Venice is included
yeah.
again.
That's where the
High
economy
population.
is. Yeah,
Yeah, high industrial areas around Milan.
exactly.
You've got your fashion, you've
Where
got
the
your northern
football
car buildings,
is, cars,
all that.
fashion.
So,
Yep, big
mm,
economic centre for that part of Europe, which includes parts of Switzerland, obviously parts of France and Austria, bordering and the gateway to the Balkans. So
yeah, yeah, coming
it's
at
yep,
it's coming at a peak season for skiing, but it's coming into peak season. Once you get to Easter, we're now in the Easter holiday, summer holiday scenario. I
it
mean,
is.
I
It is
mean, how
basically
many
it's the
other?
spring holidays for people
Yeah,
to
you've
move
got the
around
half.
more.
Yeah, Easter is in mid-April this time, so is it going to be warmer? Are we going
Second
to see
week.
more transmission or less
It
transmission?
will tend to be
You know,
warmer in these places because I mean Italy is almost up
Iran
there
it.
with Spain. We're hitting 25
Yeah,
degrees in April. If it's warm, sometimes it can be
yeah,
rainy and dire, but if it's very warm, you'd certainly expect 25 to 30 degrees in May in Italy. So that will have to be their saviour, really. Um,
yeah.
the big worry, mate, is that you have a lot of elderly people could be
The thing
unfortunately
is,
be
a lot
fatalities.
of these northern settlements, I guess, could have problems. Obviously, you go further up altitude, the oxygen becomes depleted. Are places like that suffering more?
Maybe,
If you
maybe.
get something respiratory up a mountain, it's a damn sight worse than maybe that's having a. It
It's
just showed
interesting because
before.
it's
It
interesting
said in
because
it said remote
it was
villages.
villages
Uh,
they shut down first, they quarantined.
yeah.
The villages, if you've been, the Italian lakes, the villages are kind of halfway up a mountainside because
Yeah.
the mountains, the ski resorts tower above them. The lakes have got a
Th-
certain altitude. Absolutely, we're talking Switzerland kind of level. So, yeah.
How about the Mediterranean diet and the resilience? Is it maybe in summer there's going to be more vitamin C and the diet? You see again. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
well,
Yeah, I mean my consumption of yeah, you're gonna have more salad in summer. You're gonna have more peppers, things with more vitamins in. So again, that's
possibly.
impacting. I think again, nutrition is key. People, but by pasta, it's just carbohydrate. There's not much goodness in that. You need your fresh fruit
No,
and
no,
vegetables, don't
they
you?
will eat a lot of bread and meat and
Mm.
potatoes. It's stodgy and wastes a lot of nutrition. Yes.
Well, you think that Italians would eat a lot of garlic and things, and is that you
Perhaps
think
it's
that's
more
going
of
to be
if
environmentally
you say of Neapolitan, of the south of Italy, Mediterranean
olive
diet.
oil?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sicily,
healthier.
Napoli.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can think Austria, Switzerland, France. It's a similar diet, and north of
Again,
Italy.
I possibly think a high smoking population,
I think so.
northern
Yeah,
pollution. pollution, cigarettes,
I
Northern.
think so. I think it's a generation who smoke a
There's a lot
lot.
going
Yeah.
on. There's a lot going on, isn't there, in the background there? There's a lot going on.
I think there's pollution, lots of pollution from the car and factories. Car factories. What are we talking about? Just like Italian cars, there's a lot of industry still up there. It's the economic powerhouse of Italy. There's older people who've smoked all their life and still do. Absolutely, yeah.
We saw in China, the northern area, after a few weeks, it showed like the smog levels that had actually lifted and
of course.
high pollution had lifted. Yeah,
Many respiratory problems, population with respiratory difficulties all the time. Absolutely, yep. Anyway, I mean, I don't know if you caught Boris Johnson and Mr. Whitty, the chief medical officer, today, but he.
I saw the new. Yeah,
you saw him later on, yeah.
Was he being interrogated or was he just talking?
I mean, he said what he planned to say. I was not impressed by that, the Mr. Chris Whitty at all.
No. Well, he's the fall guy. He can only relay the numbers.
I just thought he was way above his pay grade. Way above his pay grade.
Yeah.
I think what he was doing with this chap today, and obviously Johnson's a bit of a lazy bugger and just backs him up, doesn't he? Of course, because he doesn't want to do any kind of research or work himself. So but BJ doesn't matter what he said. But what this guy Whitty said was that everyone's been taking precautions based on intuition, and those intuitions have been proven wrong. The Italians, they cancel flights.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they stop and look what's happened to Italy. It's like, shut up, mate.
Yeah.
They cancelled some flights, but I mean, Frankie's neighbour flew back, as I said, on Sunday evening with the COVID-19. She flew back in Milan to Alicante with the virus. In full infection as well, coughing.
Do you know what? Do you know about the advice? If you sneeze or anything, or if you touch something, don't touch your face. Do you know how many times a day the average person touches the face?
Yeah.
2,000 to 3,000 times a day.
2,000 times, because it's just a bad habit.
You couldn't buy enough, what they say, every time you touch something. Yeah,
I think we do eat to scratch bits of, I don't know, to get rid of, I don't know, I was going to say to get rid of flies or fleas. I think we do it like cows use their tail. I think we kind of do to flick dust away. To get out of our eyes, really. Like we're grazing in a field.
A little devil's tail, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's asking. I mean, so let's get on TV and ask everyone to change basic human behaviour rather than take responsibility for a few angry airports, a few angry airlines, and people who are going to complain about you. You know what I mean? I mean, they'll start with the head teachers will be happy to close the schools.
Yeah, hey, they'll save on the budget. They'll have some money.
They'll have some money. The teachers a break.
Of course.
I mean, the teachers are going to feel responsible for infecting old people by sending their grandkids round to see them, and blah blah blah.
Hey, they commandeered a stadium in Wuhan and set it all up as a hospital, and guess what? They've not even used it. So it's over it seems to be over in China. It's done, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, they've done a super quarantine, and it was the way forward. They've learned from experience. They could have done it faster, of course, but the Italians are copying them. The Brits, I think, are way behind the curve, and we'll just have to see. We might be like the Germans, and we might just have a very, very, very low death rate. Germans have got a 0.1% death rate at the moment. It's slow, but if we've got 50 deaths by, say, this time next week, that's the middle of March. We'll be saying to ourselves, we've just done everything a week too slow. Really?
Yeah. I guess another spike on Saturday will happen. The weather, I don't know. It's up and down. some schools have closed around here actually. If they've had a case, then the school closes. It goes into a deep clean, then potentially it's going to open again.
Yeah.
So that's all they're doing. But
It is
this is just going to
absolutely.
this is going to occur again till it drops off, and those who have had it and recovered, and then
it will. It will surely drop off because, as we said last night, it will be endemic to a point where lots of young people will incubate it and not be affected by it by and large. What happens? The biggest risk is in hospitals themselves.
Yeah, well, again, you go in any hospital, it's like 30 degrees, and it's a breeding ground for germs. I mean,
bedridden old people are very, very, very vulnerable to any kind of bug and virus.
Especially an airborne virus that can stay alive on surfaces for anything from 3 to 12 hours. They said on a solid surface.
We had all those problems with food poisoning, didn't we? With salmonella.
That's why toilet seats are designed to be sort of slippery, so the virus, it's not easy for it to settle on it. If you notice the curves, so again, buses and things. I watched a film last night, and it shows somebody touching the bus pole, getting off, and then how many people touch that, and it's once it's in that situation, it's endemic. It's everywhere.
Oh, you watched Contagion, didn't you? The American.
I watched some of it. It's pretty depressing. Yeah. It's a good film, but I thought,
It was the very worst kind of zombie World War Z apocalypse, wasn't it? It was a bat biting a pig and then squashing, and then giving it to a fly biting feeding on the dead pig or something, mate. And it was an Ebola nightmare, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, like this time, like somebody probably put a pig's ear in bat soup. So again, I think the two things here are pigs and bats. Pigs and bats.
Could be pig, pig too, why not?
Pigs being slaughtered in Wuhan and eating bat soup. So there you go. They don't learn, do they? They don't learn.
No, they've had a few. They've had it on from the birds, from the chickens, and everything. What Contagion did underline, and I think this is what the idiots who run our countries have not learnt. Contagion was all about globalization. It was about global travel and the speed of communications now, and the speed people can carry to different continents. And I thought that was the most memorable part of that movie, and it's completely come true here.
They were tracking people by CCTV, and obviously it goes from 1 person to 2 to 4 to 16. You imagine one person bumping into somebody at a football match and everybody bumping, it has that rippling out effect.
Yes.
And once, it's like...
Yes, my feeling in Italy, perhaps. Yeah, thinking of...
High population. I mean, if you look at Italian buildings as well, they're all very close together. They're, small, big families possibly living in small apartment blocks, this is, mixing at schools and...
They do. I mean, the children and the grandchildren visit the other grandparents, or the grandparents' friends. They carry the virus with them,
Yeah. And it's flu season as well.
Yeah, family-oriented. Yeah. The health professionals carry it between the patients as well, doing home visits. Obviously, that's happened in hospitals. Yes, it's a plague for the old and the ailing, unfortunately. Yeah. But again, it hasn't settled in. Spain has had an epidemic in Madrid amongst old people too. I mean, they've shot up to 100 deaths now.
That's probably due to the international flight hub. Obviously, people coming in from absolutely everywhere en masse, isn't it?
It did originally. It came to the Chinese workers. Chinese worker brought it to Valencia, then to Madrid. But it spread like wildfire amongst the OAP population in Madrid, really, and the death rate has has jumped up to. I mean, Italy, it's got up to 4% now, and it's 3% in Spain. And as I said, 0.1% in Germany. So there's your difference, yeah. So we know who it's targeting. Yeah.
Again, it comes down to the cost of the kits. Do they have the kits? Are they testing everybody? The statistics can be manipulated as such. We're not having a situation where everybody's being tested every day. Then we'd get true figures. That's you're only going to get tested if you think you're ill or you're advised to. So different policies in different countries will yield different statistics. Agree? Somewhat,
I mean,
China's mapping true figures, and obviously we found out it started in early December and not beginning of January, so we knew about it and we tried to self-contain.
Yes, December was a long time ago. What happened, I think, in December, the world was really obsessed or captivated by this catastrophe in China. But what happened, Meg, was that the airport stayed open, and it started being shipped out, and it started being shipped out by cruise liner as well, as we saw. And, I think we had about 2 months to get some of those airports closed and those flights closed, or at least compulsory testing of people, But nothing was done, and that's where the governments have failed, really. So, I mean, I think they'll have a template for the next one, really. The airports are the first places they'll look at. They'll stop sea travel too. And we'll get the mass testing going on.
I think the government said today any businesses that had any cash flow issues or were going out of business, that they would be helped. So this is interesting. If you work for yourself, I mean, what's the definition of, do you have to have a certificate saying, look, I've got this virus, I get so much money per day, or how's that going to work? If I can't work the weekend, I could be buggered,
Well, it's salary.
It's a budget. It's a budget tomorrow. The budget tomorrow, so I think they're going to have written in.
Oh, yes, it's Tuesday, is it? Tuesday or Wednesday? Tuesday? Okay.
Oh, sorry, the Wednesday.
I think it's Wednesday,
I think we're going to have some things written into that regards this, obviously. So, if the 25% of the workforce are down, then, some compensation is due.
Yeah, I mean, today was the announcement of official 7-day isolation, which I suppose the police could enforce. Only the police are going to enforce this kind of thing if people are spending all their time on tubes in suit and ties, coughing instead of isolating at home. But there's where you need you need your week's wages compensated, don't you?
Obviously,
I mean, as you said, you're not attending markets. If you're one of these delivery people who are contractors, I mean, unless the government are having a look at these companies and saying, look, I don't want you firing X, Y, and Z.
Because ill or
because the self-isolation.
Obviously, a lot of these warehouses can hire and fire because the tasks, once you've done a couple of days, you can pretty much work in most warehouses order picking or there's some amount of training. Not necessarily low skilled either. I mean, these guys at Amazon, but going off subject a bit, like I'm saying.
Personally, I don't think work is such a worry, really. I think the only work which is very, very risky, mate, is tourism, air travel, and healthcare.
Yeah.
Really, healthcare with old people or moving old people between countries.
Obviously, in Italy, they've banned any gathering of people events. So here,
yes, of course, family events and social. Yes.
I mean, swimming pools for a kick-off in gyms, gymnasiums. I mean, they're just pure breeding grounds.
Yes, spectators. Yes.
You've got your grannies going in with flu, and then they're all sweating.
Cinema, theatre.
Music, and Seedorf's just scored for me on FIFA, so it's all good in the hood.
Well, that's it. Frankie is absent tonight. He's taking too long with his shopping. I think we might I might go off air in a couple of minutes. Really, I mean, I'm just having a quick look through the news to see what's new.
They're just pure breeding grounds,
Yes, yeah.
One of
Spectators.
the videos is doing well. It's got nearly 400 views.
Oh, good stuff. Yeah, we're getting better every evening now.
Yeah, the Sunday morning one seemed to get a lot. Maybe because it was at the weekend again. Internet.
Yeah, France reports. Yeah. The next job for him will be to start interviewing some people, because I mean I want to get into the mentality of the senior generation who are literally travelling around spreading this thing. I mean, I want to get into what they're not understanding or what their attitude is, because they're popping in and out of flights or on journeys and they're taking it to new cities and new regions. This crowd, because they're people who don't work, buddy, are they? They're retired people who are.
One saving grace maybe for Northern Ireland is the fact that flyby, 75% of the flights went out of her, so Belfast could possibly see a really low spread because of that. They're not getting the flights in and out, so they've not got that.
I think you're correct there. Not much happening in Ireland. It's true. Got a few cases, but not much happening. No.
Yeah. See, I've been coughing today. One of the kids has been off school.
Oh, he's not been well.
No, and his mate, so it's going around, obviously.
Is it? I mean, have you actually been feeling feverish? Because
no. I had more of a sick bug the other week, and that was awful. So what I've heard of this coronavirus,
I've not had flu for a few years. I did have flu 2 years ago because I stupidly had a vaccine in Boots, and of course I was living out here, Spanish Costa Blanca, so it was useless. But that year it was a super bug from Australia. It was an Australian flu strain, and it knocked me out for 2 months. I was just sitting around fitting in the odd hour or a few hours a day of teaching work online, beavering away at my editing work, and it seemed to end of November till middle of January. It just seemed to be in the air. 10 days back in Manchester, Christmas it went away. As soon as I got back to Spain, I was back on it again. Just hot sweats, fevers, all day, very very weak. Just energy starved really to do anything. And by middle of January, I took a long weekend away, and it did cure me. Yeah. But that was a heavy strain, and I mean, a flu jab is a must, really. Unless if you're strong as an ox in terms of your your old immune system, your constitution in general, that's fine. But if you're prone, then do our best to avoid it. But I mean, all I can say to people who live out in areas where